Screencast 22, Exploring Auto Design Style Templates. In my last screencast, I edited the layout template, the report layout template, and made it look the way I wanted. And what we're going to do now is edit the data region and the template assigned to it, and that is this table plane. Okay, so let's take a look at the styles. There's title style, there are these grouping styles. We don't have everything grouped yet, so I'm not going to show that right now, but we'll get to it. And these control how things appear when they're grouped, obviously, and how aggregations look. The primary one of interest is detail row style. This is the data in a table, right? And so the caption is the column, the label on top, and the field value style is like the data in the cells, okay? And then we have the spacing, and you can just play around with them, you'll sort of see. And there's the section style. It's very similar to the header, body, and footer section style and report layout templates. And the grand total style. So let's just start with some simple ones. We're going to go back to our report and let's take a look at what we want. Let's fix the colors. So we're going to find all the text styles and fix the colors for everything. And you know why this isn't there are no properties here? Because I have this accidentally selected. And now that I removed it and I only have text elements selected, you see the properties. There we go. And I think I've got everything. So we'll change the font to black. And it's already Sego UI, so that's good. Okay, it'll take a few seconds for that change to go through all the properties. And as soon as it's done, we'll preview the report. Good, now it looks kind of nice now. Okay. Now let's play around a little bit more. First is, let's take a look at the title style. Right, we can set the background color. Let's set it to red and just see what happens. You see? I'll remove that. And I can just setting to white. Remember, I can just delete it. Right? If you don't want the title to show up, then you should change the title value in the report design to just be an empty string. That way it won't show up. There's not a visibility property for it here. Grouping we'll get to. Let's do the caption style. We want the background color here to be, let's say, red, and the field value style to be orange, or let's try this green. It won't look pretty, but you'll see what happens. There, you get it. Okay, go back. Let's undo those crazy changes. So why don't we try a little bit of grouping? And in the process of doing that, I'm actually going to show you a feature of auto designs. So if I expand these nodes in the data region, you'll notice I've only ever talked about the data node and what's underneath it. I've never touched these other nodes. Let's just go ahead and group by one of these fields. And I have two ways of grouping by field. If I drag this way, watch what happens. This field gets moved. Okay, and now can I drag it back? No. Don't worry about that. Let's see what happens when I do this. Okay, now you see things are grouped, right? Type full name is there. And this should be group level 1 style, right? Let's change the background color of the caption there to red and the value to green and preview it now. Now do you see the effect? Okay, and now you have a good sense for what's going to happen when you do this. Let's go back there and I'll leave that alone for right now. And you can probably guess that if I were to have other groupings, subgroupings, they take on these other styles up to 3 levels deep. And of course, if there are aggregations, these will apply. Let's try doing something else. Okay? And what I'll just do is go back to the region, and I want to show you, remember the problem I mentioned? I can't drag it back. I could undo it, but let's suppose, you know, I've been playing around and I forgot to undo it. How would I correct this problem? Well, you can always just delete the group and in preview, Grouping is gone. That's good. But hey, I wanted that field back, right? How do I get the field back in my data region? Well, what you can always do is go back up to the data sets, that the one this is bound to, and just drag in the typeful name. And you can move it up and down with these arrows up here. So I have typeful name. I want it in the middle, so I'll move it up one. Preview. Okay, it's back. And now, if I want a group and I want the name, I can do this. I can drag it there, and now you'll see the grouping is achieved, and I've kept the field there. Okay, that's a little trick you should be very familiar with. So let's fix up the table plain group level 1 style to not have all these background colors. And the value, preview. Okay, and I'll go ahead and remove the grouping by right-clicking here. Actually, before I remove it, let's take a look at the properties. This group on indicates which field, right? To what value to use for the grouping. You can sort the grouping so that all, the groups are in alphabetical order. You can remove some groups by putting filters there. And the groups have a header and a footer, and I won't play with that right now. That's a little bit more of an advanced feature, but we'll get to it later. And what did I want to do? I want to make sure that I removed the colors, and I want to remove the grouping here completely and get back to the report the way I originally wanted it to look, which is just black text. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just fix that layout template now, because I really don't want the username there. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the page number. Probably looks a bit cleaner by doing that, and get rid of the separator line as well. And let's take a look. Okay, yep, the footer is gone. We just have a header now. Okay, so that was me playing around with the table style template. And again, remember, if I right click on our project and try to add a new item, there were 6 style templates, and I was playing around with the table style template, and there are actually 4 other data region styles, and they have slightly different properties than table style. And in future screencasts, we'll cover those as well. Okay, that's it for this screencast. Thank you again for your time.